Yeah, what's up, Base Boxing Basement Triple B? Make sure you like because it's free. Now, it's with fatigue and tiredness that I made this stupid video about Jake Paul and Anthony Gay J. Joshua. So, a lot of major outlets, by that I mean newspapers, Sky News, Sky Boxing, The Sun, all other agencies that are full of shit anyway, have been reporting that Anthony Joshua, aka Gay J, is in serious talks to fight Jake Paul in December on Netflix. Now, I said before, and I was told about this in my live. I was like, "No, are you serious?" But yeah, I've done the research. Apparently, Joshua is willing to fight Jake Paul. Now, boxing's become a circus. And it always has been a circus to some extent. People don't realize that. They had stuff like George Foreman fighting 5 guys. They had Muhammad Ali fighting Antonio Inoki, who spent the entire time on his back kicking Muhammad Ali's legs. There are, was it Pete Rademacher who fought a gold medalist who fought Floyd Patterson in his first fight? So it's not new to have freak fights, to have unusual fights, right? But I would suggest that it's accelerated recently. Jake Paul is probably the best known boxer in the world. However bizarre that might sound, Jake Paul is probably the most powerful boxer in the world. By that I mean from financial reasons. If you get a fight against Jake Paul, you're making money. Even though he is, and people say, "Oh, he's just a YouTuber." Well, I'm sorry, he's boxed. He's won. What's he won? 9 fights out of 10. Tommy Fury beat him. Tommy Fury, who's rubbish, right? Who's on the outset looks like the most natural, the best boxing physique you could have. Broad shoulders, long arms, good looking, but he's still rubbish. But he did win. Although he got dropped actually by Jake Paul. And now they're saying Gay J is going to fight Jake Paul in a Netflix fight. Now, with all respect, boxing has always had room for circus acts. But the fact that a guy who is only fought heavyweight once against a 59-year-old Mike Tyson, and he's been boxing, 4 years, is now going to fight Gay J, and former Olympic gold medalist, a former undisputed world heavyweight champion, and he's not the best. Gay J's a cheat. He's a PED abuser. He's a TUE abuser. He's a bum. But he's not that much of a bum. He's still a decent fighter. And what? You guys are saying that the biggest fight will be Jake Paul against a former world heavyweight champion of the world, Gay J. Is boxing becoming that ridiculous? Well, I mean, as I said, it's not the first time there's been stupidities. Muhammad Ali fought an NFL player, Alonzo, I think his name was, and actually struggled against him. So it's... But now we start to think, well, is boxing real? Is it going to be a real fight? Well, Mike Tyson himself, age 59, right? high on mushrooms, I think he was. Oh no, that was Roy Jones maybe, but whatever. You know, he admitted, or at least he claimed, that in his contract, he was told not to hurt Jake Paul and not to knock him out. And now Gay Jay, who is still world rated, who still brings in money, who is still a threat to top boxers, is going to fight Jake Paul, a guy who has not beaten anyone who's even vaguely world class, and who's lost to Tommy Fiore, who is a area level at best. And he's beaten a 59-year-old Mike Tyson in his last fight. What does that tell you? Well, it tells you it's ridiculous. It tells you that it's not going to be a genuine fight. If it happens, when I say if it happens, you know, the two camps involved might have quite easily got together and said, look, let's big up your PR profile. Let's get everyone talking about a potential fight. And we're both back in the news. And everyone's talking about us on Twitter, X, on Instagram, and blah, blah, blah. Right? So that's, to me, the most likely situation. Yeah. There is Gay Jay, despite the fact that he is chinny, he's a PD cheat, he's a coward, is still good enough to win the World Heavyweight Champion and to win a gold medal, even though he lost to Erislandy Savon, to Roberto Camarelli, and potentially to Ivan Ditchko. He's still got a gold medal. And we start to doubt boxing now. Is it WWE? Is it like the NFL? Is it BS? And there is no way on God's earth, that Gay Jay and Jake Paul are going to have a real fight, if it happens. Because Gay Jay would cream Jake Paul in a round. If he wants to knock him out, if he actually tries, he will destroy Jake Paul in a round. So, but if it happens, will that be the case? No. They'll have an agreement. Maybe they'll do 8 rounds. They'll do over 8 rounds. And Gay Jay and Jake Paul will have an agreement and say, look, Jake Paul go, look, you're not allowed to hit me hard. You're not allowed to knock me out. If you do, you lose some of your purse. There might be a contractual stipulation. People don't see contracts. They exist. They sit there in the background. But unless someone deliberately takes issue with the contract and takes it to court, no one knows what's in the contract. So Gay Jay might be like, yeah, all right, I'll fight Jake Paul for 8 rounds and I won't knock him out. I'll win. And then Jake Paul can say, I went the distance with the former world heavyweight, the world gay heavyweight champion of the world. And it will increase his stature, his status, his kudos. Right? But I can't believe that any amount of money, even a guy like Gay Jay, who is easily bought, who is a tool of the elitist agenda, would agree to getting beaten by Jake Paul. So, firstly, I don't think it will happen. I think it's just another PR story. Like I said, modern boxing is a soap opera. It's about headlines and BS and getting on Twitter and getting on forums and getting people to talk about you, about something that will never happen. Right? Now, do I think it'll happen? No, most definitely not. And in December? Well, like, what are we talking about? Like 1 month's time? 1 month? Now, Jake Paul was obviously in training to fight Javon Gay Davis, a lightweight. Now, what is he, a lightweight, right? A 5'5" midget. And now he's going to fight Gay J, a 6'5" heavyweight. And what? They expect us to believe this is real? No. No, of course it's not. It's because it brings in money and idiots and bums and NPCs and blue-pilled fools will buy it. Why? Because they're idiots. It's that simple. Because their IQ is low and they'll believe anything they're fed. So it's possible that Gay J and Jake Paul will fight, but there'll be an agreement. There's no way on earth there'll be a real fight. No way on earth. But if you ask me to put money, and I bet well. I win money on bets. I'm in profit every year. But if you ask me, would you bet money on Gay J, Jake Paul happening? I would say no. No. It's simply another PR stunt to get people talking about a couple of athletes so that you increase their visibility, you increase people talking about them, and then when they actually fight someone else, you know, their the stature will be bigger because people will have heard about them. And people will be like, oh, Jake Paul was about to fight Gay J. Jake Paul was about to fight Gay J. What a stud. Come on, man. It's not going to happen. Jake Paul won't fight Joshua. Joshua has enough money. How much would he get paid for it? 50 million? Probably. 50 million? I mean, that's nice money. But he'd have to agree to lose. And he'd have to agree to be humiliated. And it wouldn't be the first time Gay J was humiliated because he's been bent over. The sofa, the bed, in the same way that Will Smith was bent over and he was murdered. It was a murder. It was murder in there. His batty hole was murdered. So, and obviously Ruiz, realistically and in a genuine fight, embarrassed him. A big fat taco pizza eating man battered a huge muscular buck. I mean, I don't think this fight needs any more discussion on this video because it's a waste of time. It's an embarrassment. If it's signed and we see the first press conference, then it means it may happen. But I don't believe it. I think it's a deliberate way to increase visibility and PR of the two alleged combatants, one of whom is a fake, right? One of whom is a Batman. And the Batman, if they fought realistically, would destroy Jake Paul. So I think it's time to stop speaking about this nonsense. But obviously I don't think it's going to happen. Peace in the Middle East.